Hey there, Dani K coming to you from Dani K Gym Wellness. Today's tip is about sugars versus artificial sweeteners. I am one that I tend to do artificial sweeteners sometimes. Most of the time now I'm getting into doing, or have been past, I don't know, year and a half, been doing sugar in the raw. So it's brown, whether, it's packets or like at home, I, get it loose and I pour it in my little sugar bowl and that's what I use. But, in previous times, me personally, before, all these chemical things came out and said, oh, this is cancer, blah, 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 well, this is better, this doesn't cause cancer, well, now it does, all this crazy shit. So, I was always using Splenda, and I do have my diet sodas. I don't drink, I don't do drugs. I don't eat red meat, let me have some freaking something or other, you know what I mean? But, I don't do it in excess, moderation. Most of the time I'm drinking water. Anyway, back to the artificial sweetener versus sugar. A lot of times, like back in the past, before we, knew a lot about, the artificial sweeteners and doing, some detrimental things or whatever, or possibly doing detrimental things, they, there's no calories to it. So that's, what I would always push. Now, in the past, like I said, year and a half, 2 years, whatever, as things start more, coming out, me personally changing my personal, way of doing sugar and stuff like here at the gym. I do have the Splenda because some people just want it. I'm not going to judge anybody. I'm just giving you information. Because I do the Splenda, especially at restaurants, or, like Dunkin' Donuts. I get, Splenda in my sugar, in my coffee. But here at the gym, I also have the sugar in the raw. So I give options and, you choose. I give you information and you choose whatever, just like with me. I have the information up in my brain, and it's my choice and option to do whatever it is. But knowledge is power. So just take this knowledge and, try and rearrange certain things, use the artificial sweeteners less, use sugar more. And I say, the white sugar versus the brown sugar, not brown sugar as in like the brown sugar. I'm talking sugar in the raw, which is brown. That's how sugar is actually, like in its purest form, is brown. And then man gets a hold of it, bleaches it, and makes it white. So then there's actually some, opposite, opposite effects from the white sugar to the brown sugar, because when you bleach stuff, that's getting into your system. Coffee filters, couple of years ago, I switched to using brown coffee filters because the white coffee filters are bleached. So, use everything in its most natural form that you possibly can, so the brown sugar, the brown sugar in the raw, not the other brown sugar, but the brown sugar, the brown filters, those things do not have bleach in it. The wheat bread versus the white bread. The white bread is bleached, it's blanched, it's all that crap. So basically make those right choices about using foods in their naturalist form. But back to the sugars, so with the sugar in the raw, yeah, there's, I think, 15 calories per teaspoon. I put that into my caloric intake. I've been doing that more often. I'd rather, count those calories, use it in its natural form, and not have, the artificial sweetener, because when I do a diet soda, it's going to be, the natural, it's going to be the artificial sweetener in it. So moderation, not deprivation, giving myself a little bit of leeway and not being so strict that, I can't put anything, in my system or whatever. But, so I count those calories for the sugar in the raw. I put that into my caloric equation and count those calories. Like I said, the sugar in the raw is better than the white sugar. However, I'm starting to think and believe that the white sugar is better than the Splenda and the Sweet and Low and all of that stuff. So in that mindset, I'm trying to change that as well. So like if you're at a restaurant and they only have three things, white sugar, Splenda, and equal, what do? Do the white sugar. It's only 15 calories. If you're not putting a ton of it in, that's okay. And, like everything in moderation, if you're not doing a lot of sugars every, all day, you know what I mean? Like if you're eating as healthy as possible and you want a cup of coffee and you want to put, a teaspoon or two of sugar into your coffee, then, do it. I personally cannot go the straight up black coffee. I need it to be a little bit sweet, I need a little bit of a cream, a little bit of tan to it, but it's just food for thought for you guys. Think about the next time when you go to pick up a Splenda or Sweet and Low or sugar in the raw or regular sugar, figure out, are you trying to be healthy? If you're trying to be healthy, then the healthier thing is to actually do the sugar in the raw versus, the white sugar and the artificial sweeteners. Then next would be, I personally, would be the white sugar versus the artificial sweeteners, because they're chemicals, even though there's chemicals in the white, and at that point, sometimes certain people might think you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And then last option would be, the artificial sweeteners. If you're doing that in moderation, that should be fine. If you're keeping everything balanced, that's another thing. If you're keeping your pH levels balanced through proper nutrition for 90-95% of your day, a packet or two of Splenda should not, and I'm no doctor, I'm just saying, should not theoretically, hurt you, be, detrimental. It's when you're doing like massive, a whole pot of coffee and you're putting 2, 3, 4 Splendas in each cup of coffee, and then you're having diet sodas upon diet sodas upon diet sodas and no water, so those are the things that you want to think about, trying to keep your pH balances level, your acidity levels balanced. So then when you do something a little off the cuff, it doesn't, kill your system too much. It doesn't do like some damage to your system. So, food for thought. Just try and think about, do, like sugar versus your artificial sweeteners. Do the sugar in the raw, the brown sugar in the raw versus the white sugar. And count those calories in with your your daily caloric equation, so that you're doing a little bit more healthier, staying away from some of the chemicals throughout your day. So and that goes with anything, wheat, bread, wheat pasta, wheat brown rice. Think about what it's supposed to be in its natural form. Did it come out of the ground white? No. If it came out of the ground brown, then maybe you should just do the brown stuff, because once it gets into man's hands, they change it, they do this, that, and the other, and then now it's white. Just like with, milk. When it comes out of the cow, there's fat in it. And what do? What does man do? We pull the fat out to make it, 2%, 1%, no fat. We pull that out, and what are we putting back into it? Sugars and stuff to make it taste good. So, 9 times out of 10, with all of that, it's so much better to eat it in its purest, rawest form, the way it was designed, the way it was supposed to be before man got his hands on it and put his or her hands on it and put chemicals and did this, that, and the other, and just changed, the balance of it. So think about that the next time you're going to pick up milk or sugar or Splenda or Sweet and Low or bread or rice or pasta. Think about the more natural forms of it and make those choices. And of course, moderation, the portion control is so important with all of this. So stay in tune, stay informed, stay motivated. Bye.